There's a storm brewing not just out at sea, but in Hollywood. For years, Pirates of the Caribbean ruled the box office. It had treasure, it had sweeping adventure, it had magic. But most of all, it had Jack Sparrow. A pirate like no other, wild, unpredictable, and impossible to hate. But now, Jack is gone. The compass has no direction. And Disney seems lost at sea. But here's where it gets interesting. There's talk of not just one comeback, but two. One, a long-awaited sequel continuing the story. The other, a fresh, female-led spin-off once meant to star none other than Margot Robbie. Today, we're diving into the dramatic, emotional, and untold story of how Disney could bring these two visions together, and why the result could be the most powerful entry in the franchise yet. Let's go back. Way back, when Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl was first announced, no one thought it would work. A movie based on a theme park ride, with cursed skeleton pirates. Studios hated pirate movies. They bombed. Often, but somehow. With a witty script and a performance that shocked everyone this strange. Risky film became a global sensation. That performance, of course, was Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. He wasn't your typical action hero. He slurred his words, wore eyeliner, and seemed half-drunk in every scene, and yet he became one of the most iconic characters in film history. By the time Disney released the second, third, and fourth films, Pirates was a goldmine. But by the fifth movie, something had changed. The spark was fading. The reviews were weaker. And then came the biggest storm of all, Johnny Depp's personal controversies. The world watched as headlines exploded. Lawsuits, accusations. It felt like the Jack Sparrow we'd all loved might be gone for good. Then came a surprise. In 2020, at the height of the pandemic, Disney quietly began working on something new. A Pirates of the Caribbean spin-off. Not a direct sequel. This time, they were creating a brand new story with a female lead, and topping the list, Margot Robbie. At the time, Margot could do anything. She wasn't just a star, she was a powerhouse. After The Wolf of Wall Street, Suicide, Squad Eye, Tonya, and so many others, she had proven she could take on challenging, complex roles. So when Disney brought her in to lead this new Pirates project, fans were divided. Some were thrilled, finally, a fresh face and new story. But others saw it as a betrayal. Would Disney really replace Jack Sparrow? Could anyone fill those boots? The plan was simple. Margot's film wouldn't erase the old pirates. It wouldn't even be tied that closely to them. 'Twas more of a spin-off, a new tale in the same world. Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey, was writing. There was excitement in the air, and then, like a ghost ship, the project vanished. In a 2022 interview, Margot revealed what happened. "We had an idea," she said. "We were developing it for a while. I guess they don't want to do it just like that." The movie was dead. No explanation, no announcement, silence. But here's the thing about pirates or pirate stories. They don't stay buried for long. What most fans didn't know was that Disney had another Pirates project, still stewing behind the scenes. Pirates of the Caribbean 6, the true sequel to the main story, was still alive. Jerry Bruckheimer was still producing, and Chernobyl's Craig Mazin was helping develop the script. But the big question hung in the air. Would Johnny Depp come back? After his explosive trial with Amber Heard, many thought it was over. But surprisingly, fans didn't let go. If anything, support for Depp exploded. Petitions, social media trends. People didn't just want Jack Sparrow, they demanded him. And slowly, Disney started listening. Now, imagine this. Two ideas, two paths. One, a sequel we've been waiting for, tied to Jack's story. The other, a bold and exciting new journey. Led by Margot Robbie. What if it wasn't a choice between them? What if Disney could merge the two? It's not far-fetched. The Pirates universe is huge. Remember the Pirate Lords, the 9 Pieces of 8, the East India Trading Company, the supernatural curses and sea gods? There are endless ways to connect characters. Margot's pirate could be someone tied to history, maybe the daughter of a pirate lord, a survivor of a cursed crew, or someone chasing after a legend of a man with braids, a compass that never points north, and a ship that defies the sea. What if she was chasing Jack Sparrow? And what if Jack didn't want to be found? Picture this. Margot's character is introduced lost at sea. Her ship has been attacked. She's clinging to a map, desperate, following whispers of a hidden treasure no one believes is real. The only clue. A name no one dares to speak out loud anymore. Jack Sparrow, as she travels across cursed islands and ports full of danger. The myth of Jack grows. Maybe she thinks he's dead. Maybe she wants revenge. But the deeper she dives, the more she realizes this isn't just about treasure. It's about freedom. Choosing your own life. And then, at the perfect moment, he shows up. Jack isn't the center of the story anymore, but he's not gone either. He's older, wiser, still silly, still sharp, still Jack Sparrow. He doesn't steal the spotlight. He passes the torch that this could be powerful, not just for the franchise, but for the people behind it. For Johnny Depp, it's a way to come back with dignity without rehashing old stories. For Margot, it's a way to tell a fresh story without stepping on someone else's legacy. And for fans, it gives them the best of both worlds. Because, let's be honest, no one really wants to choose between old and new. We want the adventure, the mystery, the magic. And Pirates still has all of it. If Disney plays their cards right, Margot Robbie didn't need to be a pirate. Her career is full of wild, daring, personal roles. She chose pirates because, deep down, it's not about gold or glory. It's about freedom. Wild, chaotic, laugh in the face of death, freedom. And that's something we all need right now. So, maybe this franchise isn't dead. Maybe the maps haven't all been drawn just yet. Maybe it's time. Imagine the screen slowly fades in a dark ocean beneath a silver moon. The wind howls. A shattered ship creaks above crashing waves. And they're gripping the helm of a torn vessel. Is Margot Robbie's character. Blood on her cheek, determination. In her eyes, her name still unknown. Her story just beginning. She's searching. Not just for treasure, but for truth. And standing in her hand is an old, warped compass, spinning, useless. Yet somehow, it begins to slow and point to him. Jack Sparrow. It's not just a cool reintroduction, it's symbolic. The world has moved on. Pirates are fading. Everyone thinks Jack is dead, forgotten, a myth that vanished with the tide. But what if he's not? What if Jack's been hiding? Not just from the law, the sea, or his enemies, but from himself. In this version of Pirate 6, Jack isn't the same smooth-talking trickster he once was. He's older now, a little slower. The eyeliner's thicker to hide the worry. The humor's still there, but it's tinged with regret. He's not looking for a comeback, but the world might still need him anyway. Meanwhile, Margot's character, let's call her an IV, now is rising, while Jack has fallen. And isn't a traditional pirate. She didn't inherit her crew, her ship, or her title. She earned every splinter on her palms and every scar on her soul. Her backstory, devastating. Maybe she was betrayed by someone she trusted. Maybe she's running from a life she didn't choose. But now, she's chasing something bigger than gold, redemption. And the closer she gets to Jack, the more she realizes she needs him, and he needs her too. Picture this. The two meet not in explosive battle, but in a quiet, eerie Port Long. Abandoned. Jack appears from the shadows with that cockeyed grin. Anne draws her sword. Jack holds up his hands. He's impressed, but not threatened. There's tension, distrust, maybe, even a little jealousy. But underneath it all, a shared fire. Against all odds, they end up on the same side. A new enemy is rising, someone worse than Davy Jones, darker than Barbassa. A pirate hunter from the old world, cold, cruel, and determined to end piracy for good. The enemy is backed by a new fleet, powered by strange technology and the curse of an ancient sea god one even Calypso feared. Now, Jack and Anne must join forces not just to survive, but to protect what being a pirate really meant. The freedom to be who you are, chaos, choice, rebellion, and here's the twist. Anne doesn't want to become Jack. She wants to surpass him, not in arrogance but in revolution. She sees piracy not as drunken legend, but as a chance to rebuild something better. She isn't here to replace him. She's here to learn from him, and make it her own. This isn't about turning the franchise into a girl power gimmick. It's about evolution, legacy. Jack isn't losing the spotlight. He's sharing its hand. In doing so, he grows into something deeper than he's ever been before. Now, imagine the emotional heart of the film. A late-night scene, Jack and Anne sitting beside a quiet campfire. The stars above them, both a little drunk, but honest for once. Anne asks, "Why'd you disappear, Jack?" And Jack, after a long, thoughtful pause, says something like, "Because I kept running from the waves. Didn't realize I had become one." That's the moment we see he's not just a clown, he's history. Wounded, fated, and still fighting. From here, the story picks up momentum. Beastly creatures from legends return. Storms, swords, betrayals, and amid the chaos, Anne becomes what she was always meant to be, a new kind of captain. Ruthless when she has to be, clever when she shouldn't be, and fiercely loyal to the crew that chooses her and that compass. That broken, spinning compass. It finally stops, because this story isn't just about finding Jack Sparrow, it's about finding herself as the final act approaches. Jack sacrifices himself not with some dramatic slow-motion death, but in a moment of pure, chaotic brilliance. An explosion? A volcanic island crumbling. He steers an enemy ship full of cursed gold right into the depths of the sea line the whole way down. We barely see him die, and because of that, we believe he could come back again, or maybe he's become part of the sea now, a myth what he always was. On the beach, as dawn breaks, Anne stands at the edge of the water, holding the compass, her crew behind her. Her ship restored, not perfect, but hers. She steps forward. Captain's on deck. The screen fades to black. The music swells, not the exact "He's a Pirate" theme, but a new, haunting version, threaded with feminine vocals echoing across the sea. Jack's hat washes up on the shore. She picks it up, then lets the tide take it. A new era has begun.